I am a 60-plus-year-old woman who I obtained custody of my grandson back in 2014. Both his parents are addicts. His father, he's 18 right now. He is away at college. His father is still actively using. His mother, my daughter, has had a couple of relapses, and I believe right at this moment she is sober. My question, though, is having to raise my grandson and just trying to find that balance on trying to live my life, raising my children. And then usually that's the time where after your children are, in their own lives, that's the time that you can worry about yourself and start, living your life. And I'm just having that hard time because now I'm actively raising my grandson. His parents really are not a major part of his life. He can't count on them at all. Like, I'm still the one who has to go to parent functions because, like, they'll say they'll be there for him, but they just never show up. So I'm just trying to find that balance for me as well as be there for him because he still really needs me.
Yeah. I guess number one, if you were sitting here, I would ask you if it was okay if I gave you a hug. I'm sorry this happened.
Oh, you know what? I feel bad for me, but I feel so bad for him.
Hold on, Marie.
Yeah.
Let's put him off to the side for a second. I want you just to take your shoulders and clench them up around your neck real quick. Can you do that real hard for 3 seconds? Clench them really tight. 3, 2, and then just drop them as slow as you can get them. All right, listen. You get to be sad for you. You've been living.
I don't know how to do that.
I know. And tell me if I'm wrong, but there's a part of you. You're a tough as nails, badass New York grandma who does what it takes. But there's a part of you that thinks if I start crying, I will never stop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You've done a really amazing thing, and I'm honored to call you my new friend.
Oh, thank you.
And can I just say a couple of hard things right in a row?
Yes.
There's probably some things from your daughter's childhood you wish you could take back, aren't there?
A few.
Okay. And her adult choices that she makes, they're not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. And this imaginary balance nonsense is just a big box of bull crap, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. There's no such thing. And I hate that somebody told you long ago that you had to choose between living your life and living your kid's life. Like, there's just one life, right? And kids come in, they take up a whole bunch of it, and if they have challenges, obviously that takes up more of it, kind of like a balloon, but sorry somebody told you that. And so let me ask you to be selfish for 30 seconds, okay?
Okay.
What do you think you're missing out on?
You know what? I don't even know. I don't even know. I just never think about what I want or what I need. I'm still working full time, so I get up, I go to work, I just do.
Pretend with me for a second, or dream with me.
Okay.
What do you want?
What do I want? I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to just not think of any responsibilities I have.
Yeah. Keep going.
I want to not have to worry about everybody else and just worry about me.
Yeah. That's the words, that's the song, that's the poetry of somebody who is deeply exhausted.
Yes.
Because all of your language is, I want to escape my own skin.
Mm.
Even if just for a second, I want to escape my own skin.
Yeah.
And traveling's good, and not worrying about other people are good, but on the other side of that, worrying's heavy, right? And so I don't want to minimize worrying about a grandson who's not going to college, and you don't want him to make the same mistakes your daughter made, and worrying if you're always going to get that call, right? Every time the phone rings, you grab it because you never know what that call is going to be.
Right.
And also that worry or that angst about your body is still trying to solve for a picture of what should have been. What should have been is your daughter and her husband weren't wrestling with addiction, and your grandson had this miraculous life, and you just got to be granny and come in with your crazy New York yelling and banging on stuff and lecturing and judging and then going home. You know what I mean? That's the way it should have been.
Yes. Yes, and we both missed out on that.
I know, but okay, so we're going to grieve that.
Okay.
We're going to be sad because right now you're still trying to make it happen, and it can't happen. And it's a weird thing our minds do, but it continues to solve for a picture. Can I give you a lame example? This is a lame example from my own life. Whenever I took the woman who's my wife, she's been my wife for almost 23 years now. I took her to meet my gang, the guys I grew up with. Okay. These are guys I don't even take restaurant recommendations from, but for some reason I felt like they needed to sign off, right? And I was a young idiot. But to a person, they pulled me aside and they were like, "Hey, she seems awesome, but are you for real? Are you serious?" Because the people I had dated before were not like her. She wore a brown braided belt and tucked her shirt in and listened to country music and was on time everywhere and was quiet. And I always dated loud, you know what I mean? Just kind of center of attention kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until 10 years into being married that I realized all of this angst I had, not all of it, but a chunk of it, I married the wrong person, I can't believe she married me, was my brain was still trying to solve for this other person. And I never fully exhaled into, dude, I've got an amazing person right here in front of me. And I literally had to grieve the picture. I did not marry somebody who's going to be on the front row stage diving at a punk rock show. I just didn't. I thought I would. I'm not married to somebody who has a tattoo sleeve and all these just stuff I made up, right? And who's independently wealthy. I married a teacher who's freaking amazing. But I had to put a period at the end of this picture my body was trying to solve for all the time because it created angst inside my house. And for you, if I can just be blunt as can be, I don't think you're ever going to get that call from your daughter that's like, "Man, you know what? I blew it. I'm totally sober. I'm coming to get my kid. You're off the hook. Go back to doing granny stuff." That call's not going to come.
No, and you're right. I need to just forget about that.
No, don't forget about it. Don't forget about it. Go right through it. You can't forget about it because it is. It's something to be sad about because it's not supposed to be this way. And here's what happens. When you grieve that, you get to exhale into what actually has been. So can I be real, I'm fishing here, but I just want to throw some things out and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. You got to run it back. You got to love again. In a weird way, maybe you got to redeem some things that you wish you could do again with your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You got to not miss some stuff. The fact that this kid's in college tells me you have worked really hard to break the cycle.
Yes.
Does this little knuckle-headed 18-year-old know that his grandma loves him to the moon and back?
Oh, absolutely. We have an amazing relationship, and we talk a lot. And as a matter of fact, he was just home recently. He came home for the weekend, and he told me that he knows I'm always there for him, and he thanks me. Give me a big hug, kiss, told me he loved me, and he said thank you. So yes, he does know.
And so would you trade that for anything?
Nothing at all.
There you go.
Nothing at all. That's like the greatest moment.
That's right. That's right.
It solidifies that I did everything right.
You did it beyond right. It's easy when I talk to 25-year-olds whose parents were tough on them, or they had a lot of challenges, or had abusive homes, and I'm talking to them about breaking their family, like changing their family tree, breaking the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You unpotted yourself from the plant you were in and that's even harder. What you have done is nothing short of miraculous. And
thank you for saying that.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's astounding. And by the way, you parented in a world that you don't even know how it works. You don't know how texting and Snapchat and Fortnite and all this crazy nonsense. I mean, you get what I'm saying? At least my parents parented me in a world that they semi-understood. Right. And so you've been out like blind, leading, like with a blindfold on in the dark, leading this young man through, like it's here. So in a similar way, sometimes I talk to like a mom who's pregnant and she's 18. And then she has this baby and she realizes, oh my gosh, this is an amazing gift. And she wouldn't have drawn it up like this. She understands that her life's going to be hard, but now she's holding this extraordinary moment, right? This extraordinary thing. Mm-hmm. Not just the kid, but the life. And so when you grieve what should have been and what wasn't, then you get to truly honor what is. And worry's heavy, but loneliness is heavier.
Yes.
And so I know you want to escape it. I know you're exhausted. And being the mother of someone who struggles with addiction I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
No.
Because you never fully go to sleep at night. And you haven't for 2 decades.
Yeah. Right.
And you get to love this knuckleheaded 18-year-old in a way that you wouldn't trade for the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I guess what I want to challenge you with is this one simple truth. The greatest gift you can give him and your daughter is to make sure you're whole and well. And that means saying no to some stuff. That means getting a couple of loud grandmas there in New York and going and have coffee every morning and those incredible bagels. And going for walks and going to the theater with your friends. And saying no to a few things. It's okay. So that when you say yes, you're fully in. Here, can I tell you the hard part if you don't?
Yeah.
The hard part if you don't is you stop caring for your daughter and you stop feeling guilty about your daughter and you start resenting her.
Okay.
You stop feeling guilty about this grandson of yours and you start to resent him every time he calls. And that's not fair to them, right?
No.
So if I could snap my fingers and say you can go do 3 things in the next month, what would you do?
I would go out to dinner with a few friends.
Will you go to kind of a ridiculous dinner?
Sure.
Something ridiculous.
Something ridiculous, something I would never think to do?
Yes.
Okay.
And be loud.
I will definitely try.
What else? That's one thing. Give me 2 more.
Let me say, definitely want to start either going back to the gym or, setting aside half hour, an hour a day just to take a walk or read a book or something like that. Something to just disconnect and just be.
I want to give you full permission to turn your phone off. And when grandson, who you've been on call like like an EMS responder for the last however many years, 18 years. I want you to tell him, starting today, between the hours of 10 and 11:30, my phone's off. Granny's getting ripped, and Granny's reading a book, and I don't answer the phone during that time.
Okay.
And if I can be really crass, you've already imagined that worst phone call from your daughter 1,000 times,
100
haven't you?
times, right.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
If you ever get that call, and God forbid, I hope you never do, you rehearsing that is not going to make that call any easier. Does that girl know you love her?
I hope so.
No. Does she know you love her?
She does know I love her. Yes, she does. Deep down, she does.
You can turn your phone off.
Okay.
And I'm saying that literally, but it can also be metaphorically. When you go for a walk, you can have your phone.
Right, just right.
When you go to the gym, you can have it by you. But when you go for a walk and when you go exercise and when you go out to Central and you just go look at the people throwing the ball to their designer dogs, they're some doodle of some sort, that you're like, why did you spend $4,000 on that? When you go do that and you come back inside and it's been cold, but it's been sunny, and then your grandson calls, you're a laser beam on that phone call. You're not exhausted.
Right.
When you go to work, you can be fully at work, and when you're not at work, you can be fully there. Does that make sense? I want you to have permission just to live. Yeah. Are you married? Are you with somebody?
I am with somebody now. Yes.
What's their name?
Sean.
Never mind. Don't tell me his name. That's fine. Good person or goofball? Or both?
No, very good. A little bit of both, and that's good.
Good. All right, tell him he has one job, and that is one quasi-reckless thing a month. He's got a plan. Dancing, a play. You live in a crazy, fun, rad city.
Yeah.
Tell him, you're planning one thing for me every month. I've been planning stuff for everybody for the last 3 decades. You're planning something for me once a month, and it's got to be silly.
And you know what? He really tries, and I'm always like so centered on my grandson, or what's going on with him, and so we've had those talks. So I need to just let him do these things for me and not worry so much about my grandson.
Even if to bridge the gap, you send your grandson a text and say, going out on a hot date might get a little ooh, so you're probably not going to want to text me for the next few hours.
Right. Okay. That's a good idea to do. That way I don't have to worry about, is my phone near me? Is he going to need me? Right. And just live.
And can I tell you, the greatest gift you can give this 18-year-old is to let him start practicing autonomy. He's going to have to learn to figure stuff out himself.
Right.
And I know that's hard because of the hell he's lived and experienced. And every 18-year-old boy should be able to call mom, and he can't sometimes. And every 18-year-old man needs their dad, and he doesn't have that. Right,
and I think that's why I make myself so available, because he knows.
I know.
Like, I am mom, I am dad.
But he's going to have to learn to reach out to an instructor or to a coach or to a kickboxing instructor. He's going to have to start looking for and towards other men in his life.
Okay.
And maybe that's the harder conversation, is you're 18 now, and these are things that your dad should have taught you and should walk you through. You're not going to have that. That doesn't minimize the need he has to go get those things.
Right. I can't be everything to him.
That's right. And I need you to hear me say, what you have done is Herculean. It's amazing. It's extraordinary.
Mm-hmm.
And on behalf of all of us with sons, thank you for being there to step in the gap. It's my worst nightmare is if I go away and my kid's mom goes away, what happens? Who steps in? And you've done that.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now you go have some hilarity and some adventures in your life. Awesome.
I promise I will.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Your last homework assignment is I want you to take a picture of it, of y'all doing something goofy, and email it into the show. And I won't post it, but it will just be for me. Thank you so much for being brave and for calling in. And thank you for being a grandma who stepped in the gap. It's pretty amazing.